Controversy follows President Trump on his first trip home to New York City since taking office. Protesters are upset with his response to the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia. Correspondent Mark Irons reports from the White House, where the president faces pressure to shake up his administration. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Lauren. Some of Trump's own advisors are peeling away, and minority groups want him to cut members of his inner circle. The clamor all stems from the weekend violence sparked by hate groups and what some people see as the president's poor response.
Fallout from Charlottesville spilling over to New York City. The president greeted by more than 1,000 protesters as he returns to Trump Tower for the first time since his inauguration. Critics say he did not respond soon enough to condemn Saturday's white supremacist rally in Virginia that ended in a woman's death and frightened the city of Charlottesville.
But they saw what looked like an invading army.
Jared Stepman from the conservative outlet The Daily Signal witnessed the tension firsthand.
And I think it is the president's role to calm the fears of Americans and say that we're going to do something about it, that these kind of awful things don't have a place in this country.
Trump did call out the hate groups by name yesterday,
including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists.
But he's frustrated his comments still haven't silenced critics, tweeting, "Made additional remarks on Charlottesville and realized once again that the fake news media will never be satisfied. Truly bad people." Trump also lashed out at the presidential advisors who resigned in the wake of the violence, saying, "For every CEO that drops out of the manufacturing council, I have many to take their place. Grandstanders should not have gone on. Jobs." Some lawmakers want the president to remove 3 aides from their jobs at the White House. The lawmakers wrote a letter to Trump calling for the removal of Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, and Sebastian Gorka, saying their presence is emboldening a resurgent white supremacist movement, a movement Jared Stepman says is out of step with America.
I think it's important with moments like this to say that these people don't represent us. They don't represent the mainstream Americans. They don't represent the mainstream Trump supporters.
The outrage against hate groups prompted protesters in North Carolina to tear down a Confederate statue. Those protesters could now face felony charges. Lauren.
Is President Trump still focused on the fallout from Charlottesville?
He's highlighted the federal investigation, but he's also advancing other parts of his agenda. Today, he hosted a discussion on infrastructure at Trump Tower before signing an executive order to speed up the infrastructure approval process. Lauren.
Correspondent Mark Irons at the White House. Thank you, Mark.